But there's more. According to one economist, some non-working men face a skills mismatch. A third have criminal records, making them ineligible for many jobs and making employers hesitant to hire them. And many rely on safety nets, such as disability. So you may wonder, what are these guys doing instead of work? Well, kind of what you might expect. Spending nearly 7 hours each weekday on average relaxing, playing games, and watching TV.
Men going their own way are damaging the economy. Today's video is from Man Guide. Their channel is linked in the description. Why are so many men now going their own way? As a result of what these men are doing, 7 million men are now out of work, and the number is really closer to 30 million. And these men have no interest in looking for work. Watch to the end of the video to understand why men are going their own way and how this is damaging the economy. And now let's jump into the video.
How is it, from where you're sitting, from your understanding, that people can do nothing all day and still have enough money for a bag of chips?
Oh, well, it's almost as though some entity is paying them. It's almost as if somebody is not letting them fail. It's as if some giant parent somewhere has...
An uncle, maybe?
Could be a rich uncle, yes. Could be a very wealthy uncle.
Or it might come down to values. As many public schools have stopped offering shop class, many students have stopped even considering jobs like the ones Roe has spotlighted, dirty or otherwise.
It goes back to the stigmas and stereotypes and myths and misperceptions that are keeping guidance counselors from talking about opportunities like this to the kids in their care. It's those things that are keeping parents from putting all the options on the table.
To be, you were a boy and then you became a man. We created this middle gap for you young men called adolescents. I call them boys who can shave. These are guys that have a man's opportunities but a boy's responsibilities. These are guys who keep freeloading off their mother. They're boomerang guys that keep moving back into their parents' home. These are guys who spend their 20s dating, relating, and fornicating and not worshiping and serving and giving. That's the problem. It's a whole bunch of guys who are trying to extend their childhood years as far as they can. And I'll tell you where it gets real sick. Some guys will push their childhood years all the way into their 30s, and then 10 years later in their 40s, they get a midlife crisis and go back and have their childhood revisited. I have 7 million men ages 25 to 54 not working or looking for work. 7 million. You can't build a civilization, a culture, a nation, an economy on men who are not activated and working and producing. What it means is you have far more consumers than producers. And then you have a whole generation of young men that are going to vote to increase the taxes on men who are working to reallocate wealth, which is stealing. And the result is, at some point, you run out of other people's money. That's why we now have record national debt, and now credit card debt in America has, for the first time, reached over $1 trillion. Guys, young guys are doing with their time and energy. Porn, social media, video games, the beast, the false prophet, and the Antichrist. That's what they're doing. Single guys in your 20s, here's what we know. 68% of guys in their 20s today are not dating a woman, not intending to date a woman, have no actual interest in a relationship with a female, and are making no movement toward marriage whatsoever. In the last few years, a lot of young men just moved home with their mother. They have no intention of ever moving out until they can find a girlfriend in her 20s or 30s with a good job and low expectations. And then their hope is to move into her house and have her pick up where mom left off. And what these are generational curses and bad.
I'm in my soft guy era. I need to be taken care of. I need somebody to pay my bills. I need emotional support.
Listen, fellas, we done with the whole masculine provider male era. We're in our soft guy era, okay? Drizzle, drizzle. Listen, you need to hold out and make that woman wait until she shows you that she's capable and that she's loving enough for you to give your body to her. You know?
Not because you asked me on a date and you're asking me to split the bill with you. It's a respect thing.
I just don't know you that well.
Okay, I don't know you that well, so that's completely fair, but I still agreed to go on a date with you to IHOP, and you're asking me to split the bill, and I don't think that's, like, respectful.
I would pay for you at a nice restaurant as well. Just, it's principle.
Okay, well, it's a respect thing for me, and on top of being disrespectful, I feel like you just sat here and played a...
If a woman is over 30 years old and she is not married, she will be called 剩女, 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 which means leftover woman.
Study called from the Pew Center Research conducted a study that said 63% of men under age 30 would rather stay home and watch porn than go on a date. Men say they are getting their needs met without having to go on a date. Would men rather stay single than be with a woman is the question.
That's what they're saying, pretty much.
63% of men.
I think they're cheap.
Yeah, they just ain't got no money.
They don't have money, which you should get your money up before you start dating. So it is cheaper to sit home and beat your meat than actually go out and find actual women to hang out with.
At the end of the day, it's all about us. It's all about us. We just want our equal rights as men. So, drizzle, drizzle.
I've been tagged repeatedly in videos like this, and I know this is men's attempt to throw women's logic back in their faces. But the truth is, we already knew you were in your soft guy era. We thought you were soft when you couldn't resist a woman's temptation when you had a girlfriend, a fiance, or a wife. We knew you were in your soft guy era when you went to the store to get a pack of cigarettes or a gallon of milk and never came back. We knew you were in your soft guy era when you begged your baby mama not to put you on child support because you couldn't survive if she took that $250 a month, even though she was the one who was feeding the child and clothing the child. And
Got off the phone with someone I was seeing, and she asked me how my day was going, and I explained I was at the airport. And then she said, "I'm glad you got there safe." And I said, "Yeah, I had to take an Uber." I had to block her. I mean, she was great and everything. She was emotionally intelligent, always paid for dinner, pretty much catered to my every need. But if you hear I'm taking an Uber to the airport and your first move is not to open up Venmo and send me money, are you even a real woman? And then you find out I'm on a commercial flight and you don't immediately charter me a private jet? I know my worth, drizzle, drizzle. I'm in my soft guy era. I want to be pampered. And if you're broke, just say that.
Awesome. Why would you want our money if you're so-called strong and independent and don't need no man? I thought you baddies, CEOs, and bosses with your own bag. For those who don't know or aren't aware of the typical entitlement movement these females have on social media, many thoughts call it the sprinkle sprinkle movement, which the soft guy era is making fun of. Here's some videos to give you an idea.
As well, these men love to say, "And what do you bring to the table?" Honey, there is no table for us to sit at. You have no money to buy the table. We're sitting on the ground. So rather ask, what do you bring to the ground?
You said, what are you bringing to the table? Men are tired. I'm not bringing nothing to the table, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. If you want a woman to bring something to the table, go to IHOP. Go to the restaurant.
If you're on a date and they're looking at another woman, look at cars. Because a man can be cute and broke, and he knows you ain't going nowhere. But looking at cars is totally different. Oh my God, look, there's a Bentley. I wonder who's driving that. You know, that way he sees. You're not looking at looks, you're looking at money.
You see, guys, men have walked away. Men are done with the nonsense. Men are done with the games. Men are totally done with all of it. The honest to goodness answer is that, you know, men feel poorly treated in society. Men have taken their ball and have gone home. Men will only work enough to survive and thrive, but no more than that. They will dump their money into crypto and investments while living far below their means and while living lives of simple luxury and comfort. And that's really the answer. Men are done with the games. Men are not arguing anymore. Men are not even conversing anymore because it's all just gaslighting. The moment that a man opens up and talks about his problems and what's happening to him, women immediately go on the shame game. the insults game, and everything else. Shame, insults, and guilt because they need to be right. And men have had it. Men have woken up and they realize it's not even worth the conversation. So they've been pushed out of public spaces. They've been pushed out of the gym. They've been pushed out of society. So they're building home gyms. They're staying at home. They're working from home or only going out and doing jobs here and there, working as much as they need to. Some guys are able to live off their investments. They're working just enough to survive and thrive, and that's it. And by not getting married or having children, the results are they have lots more disposable income that they can do significant things with and live the lives that they want to live. And that's because they've finally woken up to what the game is. They've finally woken up to how women are treating them. They're finally woken up to how women perceive them. They've finally woken up to society, and they realize that society views them as nothing more than disposable and a means to an end. Men have finally woken up. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy and sign up for the newsletter. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Men going their own way are damaging the economy, and they are not looking back. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.